Season, hello and welcome, it's Mist. Video a bit special today because I'm not going to show you just one action figure, but a collection, my own to be precise. I'm talking about Kenner's Star Wars action figures. It's not a complete collection, just a few pieces I have managed to collect over the years. So get comfortable and let's head to a galaxy far, far away. Let's go! We start this presentation with the spaceships. It's actually the first piece I ever got, the X-Wing. I remember the store where I bought it and how much it cost. Originally, it wasn't the spaceships I really wanted, but the Millennium Falcon.
Star Wars. Live the adventure with the Kenner Star Wars collection of vehicles and action figures. Can the massive Millennium Falcon with flashing lights and mega detailing.
I remember having a pretty heated negotiation with my mom at the time. I want the Millennium Falcon! I want the Millennium Falcon! Sadly, I didn't get what I wanted. So, I had to settle for a cheaper toy. I ended up choosing the X-Wing, which cost, if I remember correctly, half the price of the Falcon. But since I didn't get the specific piece I wanted, I took the opportunity to negotiate getting a figurine to go with the ship. This leads us to my first figurine that we'll see later. Anyway, what can I say about that whole X-Wing? Pretty cool. You can switch the spaceships to attack mode, which separates the wings in two by pressing the droid. You'll need 2 batteries to activate Lightspeed sounds. There is also a small button located under the spaceship's hull to trigger the shooting sound. The only downside I have noticed is that the various stickers tend to peel off and get corners over time. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. That's all for the X-Wing. Now let's move on to my first figure, which is none other than your good old Luke Skywalker in his farmer outfit from episode 4. The figurine came with 2 accessories, a lightsaber and a grappling gun. I remember hesitating with another model, the one where he wears an orange pilot suit to match with the spaceships. But I chose this one, because for me it was the iconic outfit that best represented Luke. The Padawan outfit. The figure is quite successful. Luke looks good. Now let's move on to my second acquisition, which is none other than Darth Vader. After the hero, I needed the villain. It's a 97 version and not the previous one that looked like this. Mine and green box and not a reddish orange one. What was the difference between the two? Well, I think he had more articulation point in his arms, allowing the character to hold his lightsaber with 2 hands, which was not the case for the previous version. The cape is detachable. By the way, this is not the only version of Vader that I have. This one came out a little later in the prequel trilogy. It was sold with accessories like a diorama to recreate an iconic scene from the film. The one where Vader reveals he is Luke's father. Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? The figure is less flexible than the previous one, but better made. I really like the dropping of the cape. A button located at the back of the figure allows it to rotate. As for the accessory, we have a column cut in half and a railing. a lightsaber that is now made of metal and detachable. This is clearly my favorite version. Then, if I remember correctly, I had to have R2-D2. Came with a green saber. All you had to do was press the middle button to launch the lightsaber, like in the Return of the Jedi. Not much to say, except that only the lateral feet can be articulated. Moving on to the more feminine touch with Princess Leia. Yes, I bought a female figure. Well, a female is a stretch considering the face of the figure. Ugh! You can feel the princess on steroids. Leia! That's bother me! Why are you bothering the kid? Wait a second. I think I bought her because she was on sale and wasn't worth much. It's the same version as Luke. There was also another version where she was in slave costume, but it wasn't on sale. So there is Leia in her new Hope outfit with her cinnamon buns on her head. The cape and the skirt can be removed. She came with two weapons, a handgun and a assault rifle. It's We finish the first saga with the spaceships once again. So for this one I have another anecdote. I remember that it was my grandfather who bought it for me. In fact, I had the choice between two spaceships that were on sale again. At first I was leaning towards the TIE Fighter, because I already had the X-Wing, and it seems logical to have an allied spaceships and an enemy one. But mostly because I did not know the other spaceships. I had never seen before. But it was until much later that I discovered it was the iconic spaceships of the planet Hoth. What made me choose this one, you may ask? The first thing that attracted me at the time was the fact that you could put two pilots in the cockpit instead of just one, which was pretty cool. Then I wasn't a big fan of the design of the TIE Fighter, which I thought was too square, and I would have had to buy a pilot. That's why I chose this one. You have the grappling hook at the back of the vehicle, just like in the movie. Like the X-Wing, the spaceships has two buttons. One to activate the light speed sound, and the other to activate the cannons. So much for the first trilogy. Let's now move on to the much criticized part, the prequels.
They are good. They are evil. They are alien. They are wise.
We start with Qui-Gon Jinn, who is my first action figure I got. It's a battle version, meaning without his cape. Fun fact, I remember my mother making me two fabric capes, one for Qui-Gon and the other for Obi-Wan. As for the figure, it's pretty well made. Comes with his lightsaber and a Comtech chips, but we will see that later. The skirt is made of soft plastic, which tends to sweat over time. Next we have Obi-Wan in Battle Mode 2. Equally well made. I think if I had to keep only one figure, it would be this one. Like his mentor, nothing much to say. We move on to Darth Maul. With his double lightsaber and small horns. Then we have Jar Jar Binks and his spear. It's from here that we notice the figures are less articulated. His vest and his skirt are made of soft plastic and are not glued to the character. The guy's face makes me laugh. Usually when you think of Jar Jar, you imagine a smiling or joyful face. Here the guy is frowning. He looks suspicious. It's probably the face he must have made reading all your praising comments about him. Let's speed up a bit, or we will be here all day. I will only comment if I have something to say. We have Henny and his backpack. Yoda, whose sculpture is incredibly detailed for such a small figure, especially the face. He was accompanied by his Jedi Council chair. I was bent, because if I had waited a bit, I could have gotten the version with his lightsaber. To make up for this, I had to use Luke's green lightsaber. The battle droid? Yeah, I know what are you thinking. What does the robot look like? It's using a squat toilet. Well, let's just say I try to replicate their posture when they are not active. Pretty successful! A second woman with Padme in her outfit from the end of episode 1 and her two blasters. The face is more well done and feminine than that of her mother. Mace Windu with his removable cape. Not that in this version, his lightsaber is blue and not purple. I think at that time they didn't yet know that his lightsaber would look like. A second Qui-Gon. Yeah, I caved and bought the character again, just to get the version with the cape. The head of this Qui-Gon kills me. The dude is dead inside. Oh, there are passing between my two ears. He came with a lightsaber and another one that can be attached to his belt, but it's extremely fragile. I went all the way and also bought Obi-Wan in this version. I say that, but side by side they actually look pretty cool. Palpatine in his holographic version. Why choose this version over the basic one? I find it original. Only his arms are articulated. Oh look, he looks like an angel. Or a statue. The next one is the last from episode 1. That I had trouble getting because it was quite rare. It's a Droideka. Just like the battle droid, impossible to replicate his rolling position. It looks like a woman ready to give birth. Its arms up to its cannons are articulated. His head bends as well as its body, thanks to a metallic system. Its 3 legs are also flexible. We are moving on to another ship, the Naboo fighter. I didn't buy the pallet that goes with it. I simply settled for the little Anakin to fly it. However, the figure being small tends to slide inside the cockpit. There are R2-D2, who can swivel, 2 buttons to activate the hyperdrive and cannons. Unfortunately, there is only the light. The sound no longer works. Underneath there was a blue rocket that could be activated with a small button. I think I lost it. The battery cover. The front of the ship is made grey instead of chrome. One downside of the ship is that the tips tend to bend. We finish the series of episode 1 with this little accessory, the ComTalk. Yes, you know, it's a little gadget that Qui-Gon uses.
There's something about this boy.
Except here, it's a XL version. And yet I don't have small hands. The thing measures about 18 cm or 7 inches. The device is activated by this little button. The 2 buttons at the top generate a lightsaber sound, and the other one a blaster shot. As I mentioned earlier, each Phantom Menace figure comes with these little plates that contain an electronic chip, which, when passed over the red dot, triggers a line from the character. In fact, you could use these chips as a stand for the figures. Pretty cool, right? The grey buttons can store 4 ComTalk chips. We are done with the episode 1. If you're still watching at this point in the video, don't worry, we are almost done. There are only 6 figures left. We move on to episode 2, with Obi-Wan going from brown to blonde. The particularity of this figurine is that to have a magnetic hands, because the lightsabers are metallic. You know, the Force. It's clearly visible with a big round piece he has in his hand. A piece that attaches very well to the droid that accompanies him. 2 issues arise with this action figure. The first is that the top of Obi-Wan has yellowed over the time, and that Jango Fett and his jackpot that had unfortunately broke by stepping on it recently. His helmet can be removed. We have his 2 pistols, and a grappling hook hidden under his hand. A second rocket can be placed in his jetpack and fired. We end episode 2 with Anakin and his 2 lightsabers. The character's right arm could be removed, but since it kept falling off, I preferred to glue it. A wheel located on the back of the character is meant to spin Anakin's left hands. The action figure is very well done. Let's move on to the figure from episode 3, which is in my opinion less successful. Obi-Wan has returned to brown hair, just like Thus from episode 1. We have a lightsaber that can be attached to the belt. As for the other, the hands are directly attached to it. You must remove the hand. The same goes for Anakin, who has the same characteristics and arsenal as his former mentor. Except for an extra lightsaber. I find his face particularly poorly done. And we finish my collection with a figurine from episode 7, Kylo Ren, who is still in its box, with one lightsaber off and the other on. I got it because I liked his design. I don't have anything else to say, except that I had another ships I wanted to get. The slave one. But when I saw the prices of the Boba Fett figurine, I gave up. There are also the Millennium Falcon that I never got, for that matter. I want the Millennium Falcon! This video comes to an end. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was Miss. May the Force be with you.